Thank you so much for joining me for one of my VA success videos. I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive in this video on the seller concession / contribution rule from VA. Many people believe that the seller can only pay 4% toward the borrower's closing costs and prepaids. And this is not correct. So the VA does have a rule in the guidelines that says you are limited to 4% seller concession on a VA loan, which seems pretty straightforward. But they show and document what is included in this 4% that you cannot exceed. So you've got the funding fee, you've got temporary buy downs, you've got payment of borrower debts or gifts for the borrower. So these types, prepayment of homeowners insurance and taxes. So those things are limited to 4% and cannot be exceeded. But what people don't read further into is that the 4% limit does not include the borrower's closing costs. So the seller can contribute and pay off the borrower's closing costs, which include appraisal fees, title fees, recording fees, mortgage tax. These things are closing costs. And that is not going to be included in that 4% limit. So when you are doing a VA contract, make sure it is being written for seller contributions and not just seller concessions, because VA does have a breakdown and a difference between these two things in the guidelines. I know it is very confusing, but it is important because it can really help your borrowers get into a home with little to no funds if the seller can manage to, if they can manage to negotiate a contract with the seller to pay these things off. And we want to help our veteran borrowers get into homes with the best deal that they can get. You know, here at Orion, we love VA loans, and it's very important to us. We go down to 580 credit score. We do manuals. We do no score loans. So these things are important for some of our veterans that do not have those upfront funds. Another thing to remember is that VA loans do not allow for gifts of equity. So if you're using a VA loan for a family purchase, you can't give equity, but you can exceed that 4% concession if that seller or family member wants to pay the borrower's closing costs and really help them to get in with 100% financing and pay almost all the costs that it costs to get them into the home for the mortgage. So lots of great things. We love VA loans. It is personally one of my favorite loans. And we want to do everything we can to try to get our borrowers, our veteran borrowers, into their dream homes and really help serve the people that have served us. So if you have questions about this, please reach out. Check out my YouTube channel and my Orion Lending Insiders group, where you can get lots of information about all the different programs we offer here at Orion Lending.